Hi everyone. Intensive courses, again and again. Every time I think they couldn't get any worse, they do get worse. It seems like there is no end to that. In one of my videos, which I made before, I talked about why intensive courses are the worst option for students who want to study a language, any language. I'm not talking about only English, but also other languages. And in today's video, I'm going to talk about why intensive courses are also not only bad for teachers, but also even dangerous. Let's first try to simplify the term of intensive courses. Intensive courses mean that students, mostly adults, receive too much information in a very short period of time, which they can later use the new information at work or in their daily life. This can be seen in several situations, but mostly when people are in a different country and they don't have enough time to study for long, so they use these courses to learn the language as soon as possible. In most cases, these people are actually pushed to study the language. It's a must for them to be integrated as soon as possible in the new society. In today's video, I'm going to show why they are fruitless. The results of the intensive courses are fruitless and why they will damage the teacher's reputation. Let's take this example. Let's take this situation. You have to teach, or as a teacher, you have 2 weeks to teach the following terms. And I wrote a list, and I'm going to read from the list, and it's real. It's not something I imagined. It's one of my colleagues' courses. In 2 weeks, you have to teach the following. You have to first review the tenses. You have questions forms, used and be used to, conditionals, narrative tenses, future forms, all forms, including future perfect continuous and future perfect simple, ing and infinitive forms, plus the other task. We are done with the grammar, but you still have the other task of reading, listening, speaking, functional grammar. All of those in only 2 weeks. This is insane. Remember, here we are teaching adults. We're not teaching teenagers whose only and biggest problem that their crush doesn't like them back, or their crush likes someone else. We are talking about adults who have to worry or who must worry about more serious problems in their lives. They have to worry about their family, they have to worry about their jobs, they have to worry about everyday life problems. So we would spend 9 months to help teenagers and young adults to move half a level from B1 to B1 plus in 9 months. So how, in heaven's name, how can you do the same with teenagers with many problems? How do you expect the teenagers to spend 5 days a week for 2 weeks, to spend minimum 3 hours, because there are other courses that last for even more than 3 hours, to spend 3 hours every day learning, not reviewing, we're talking about learning the language, learning grammar, and then spending God knows how long doing the homework and reviewing what they studied. How do you expect those people to learn the language? How do you expect them to get what they are supposed to get, or what they thought before joining the intensive course they could get? It's impossible. This is against the human brain. This is against the natural learning process. It's not going to happen, not in 100 years. Now, why is it dangerous for the teachers? Let's take this situation. You are a student and you pay, for example, let's say $300 for an intensive course for 1 month or for 2 months. How are you going to deal with all of the aspects, all of the learning process which we mentioned before, and at the same time live your life and divide your life and attention between life issues and language learning? In this case, the first victim is the teacher. The first, the only, and the easy victim whom you can blame is the teacher. Why? The teacher, in this case, can do two things. Both of them are bad. First thing, the teacher can explain or answer all of your questions, can further or can give you further explanation about the topics which you don't understand, or further explanation about the questions you asked. And then the teacher or the whole course will be way behind the schedule, and the teacher will not be able to cover the topics or the materials he or she is supposed to cover during the course. The other option is for the teacher to ignore your questions and proceed with the course, because they are supposed to cover the topics mentioned before and in the contract and in the advertisement of the course. And in that case, you are not getting any answers, you are not getting any further explanation. And so, for you, the teacher did not do what they were supposed to do. You did not get the answers to your questions. You did not get the information, or at least half of the information you paid for. You came here to get questions, or to get your questions answered, and your questions were not answered, or most of the questions were not answered. You understood 50% of the material being discussed. And so, for you, you wasted your time, you wasted your money, and you didn't actually benefit from this course. Why? Because the teacher didn't answer your questions. Or, as I mentioned before, the teacher did not cover the topics which were supposed to be covered. You expected to cover 7 topics, or 7 grammar topics, and you only managed to cover 3 or 4 of them. Why? Because you asked too many questions, and the teacher had to answer your questions. So in both cases, the teacher is the victim. The teacher is the one to be blamed. And so, the teacher will receive negative feedback, the teacher's projects would decline with time, and so the employer, there is no better way than, or there is no better reason than this reason for the employer to find a replacement. Because, as we all know, most teachers work as freelancers, and replacing them is a piece of cake. There are a lot of people who are ready to, try to teach, and they can, or they could be found anywhere, anytime. As a teacher, you are supposed to follow the schedule, and at the same time, to make sure that your students get the information they are supposed to get, and understand the information they are supposed to understand. Unfortunately, in intensive courses, you are rarely to achieve both goals. Most likely, or most of the situations, most of the times, you'll be left with only one missing point of these 2 goals. Now, why do most people attend again and again the intensive courses, despite the fact they're not getting the information they want to get? The first reason is that they think that they are stupid. They think that it's their fault. They think that they are not giving enough attention to their lesson. They are not doing the homework. They are not reviewing as much as they have to the material being discussed. So that's why they say, okay, it's our fault, maybe we attend again, maybe we understand more. And I've been in several situations when many students in my course and in other courses in other languages with other of my colleagues, there are people who attend the very same course to get the very same information for 3 times and 4 times. And they still want to attend more. They still don't understand. They still, or they're still unable to get the information they need. For them, it's difficult. Their brain doesn't help them. They think that it's their fault. Now, let me give you a very good piece of news. This is not your fault. It's the fault of the genius who created something which is called intensive courses, language intensive courses, and not only English, also other languages. It's not the student's fault, and it's not the teacher's fault. Now, someone might say, those people who invented the intensive courses were not stupid, they know what they were doing. Okay, the theory is great, the theory is perfect, the theory is unbelievable, call it whatever you want. But we have to deal with the situation. On the other hand, we have a real situation. We have a real life situation. People are not getting what they pay for. People are not getting what they came here for. We have to deal with this situation. Now, my piece of advice for students who have the option, and I say again, who have the option, who have the chance to choose, don't go for intensive course. A normal course with 90 minutes or 2 hours twice a week is more than enough. Don't go to intensive courses. And my piece of advice for my fellow colleagues, or my fellow teachers, if you ever have the chance to choose or to say no to an intensive course, never go for an intensive course. I know it's difficult. For intensive courses, yeah, you get a lot of money in short period of time, but for the future, it's dangerous. For the future, you'll be getting more and more negative feedback. Your reputation will decline, and the number of projects would definitely reduce. But if you have no other option, so you have to do what you have to do. So these were my ideas, and that was my opinion about the intensive courses and why they are not only bad for teachers, but also dangerous. These ideas and this opinion were based on my own experience and the experience of my colleagues from other departments who teach other languages. It's not only about the English language, because I have a lot of other colleagues who suffer the same. They start a course with 10 attendance, and then with time, after 1 week, the number goes down to 5. The students say, yeah, we like the course and it's very nice, we like you, but we cannot catch up. And a lot of them, not all of them of course, a lot of them ask for private lessons with the same teacher, which is, we know, if you are working for a company or a course, it's dangerous to do, and it's not good to use this opportunity to steal projects or people from your company. But if they didn't like you, if you were the problem, they wouldn't ask you for private lessons. So that's what I wanted to say, that's what I wanted to explain. Of course, there might be other problems which I didn't mention. There might be other minuses which are missing in this video. If you have any stories, if you have any experience to share or to tell, please don't hesitate to do that in the comment section. Thank you very much for watching, and see you later.